Alright, we're going to do a shave for you. The tools of the trade. Today's soap and lather will be sponsored by, I assume that's pronounced de Provence, number 63. A French soap, very popular and very recommended by other folks. So the scent is very kind of European. There's some sweet notes to it. There's obviously some floral in there. A little bit of soapy, but the sweet help it not to be quite so feminine. So I like that. And the brush for today is a Semogue 830, a Boar brush. I've had it soaking. The soap has also been blooming in the tin. Nice generous portion with that soap. The razor is going to be my DE89 Edwin Jagger. Man, I haven't used it in a while. The bowl for today is the Hacky Salsa bowl that I dremeled troughs into. I have not had a chance to use my Boar brush in that yet. My Boar brush is probably around use number 12 or 13, so it's not broken in yet. Figured it'd be a good time to try that out. And inside the razor, we have the third use of this blade that I've been very happy with in the other two razors I used it in. The Gillette silver blue stainless steel blade. Lock it in here. Lock it in and line it up. Okay. Now the brush is in good shape, I'm sure. I am going to go ahead and I have not lathered up this soap before, so I don't know what to expect, but I know that it's probably going to give me good things. I'm going to drain off all the water inside there. You know, the Boar brushes are a little bit more stiff than the Badger brushes, and so in theory this should grab a lot of soap in a little bit less time than it would take my Badger to do it, especially since it's not really broken in. Oh, now there was some nice kind of manly musky coming out of there that I did not detect when it was dry. Nice. A little bit of spice. I was trying to figure out a way to, because I've got so many cool soaps and stuff that I'm enjoying. Trying to figure out a way to, but I like them. I don't want to use them up on a Boar that's not broken in yet. And so what I did was I took my Boar brush into the shower with me and just kind of painted the shower soap on my arms, you know, just to give it some exercise. Help it to break in quicker without using up my good, delicious soap. All right, I'm confident that I have loaded enough. Let us hope that confidence is not ill-founded. So I got my groovy bowl, and we're gonna I put about a teaspoon of water in it. We'll just see. That's probably that or more is what I should have started out with earlier the other day when I was using this very bowl with Dr. Harris And the whole time I was shooting the video, I was calling it Dr. Harris, because I mean that's what it looks like on the tiny little print label, you know, but it's Dr. Harris. One thing is this brush has a more conventional sized handle. I have the long handle on my Badger brush. My hand is not down in this bowl as much with that longer handle. Now this is it's coming up very dry right now, so I'm going to go ahead and give it some more. I'm going to start a trickle. Because who knows, maybe this is a soap that is thirsty as well and needs its water. I also don't know how well like a Boar brush may be more thick when more stiff when it is young and not really broken in. But does that mean it stirs up the lather less efficiently? So I don't know enough about that. Now I am starting to get, you know, I wonder if I've got a few ridges in this bowl. I wonder if it's putting too much air into the lather. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. That may have been what happened with my Dr. Harris. It was the Marlboro scent. I wonder if I switch back to my normal bowl, if I might get thicker creams and stuff. Yeah, so this is, you know, I don't know how that's rated in terms of, but it looks very airy and kind of dry. Wow, the scent just really changed. There's more kind of a masculine cologne musky scent that I didn't pick up in its dry form. Hey, at the very least, I'm giving my Boar brush a good workout. Now, I mean, is this a good lather? Is this a good protector? I'm getting long, you know, I'm getting long peaks, but I don't know if that's good or bad. Light and airy. I'll go ahead and maybe add some more water because it seems a bit dry. Maybe a quarter of a teaspoon there. I don't know if all of a sudden the soap is going to activate or what. Okay, here's what I'll do. I'm going to mix this just for a little bit longer, and then I am going to go ahead and do the first pass with it, and depending on how that feels, I will can always just reload with some more soap on the brush. Who knows? Yeah, I think my next goal is going to be to try to get a creamy lather out of this bowl. See how easy that is. See how possible it is. I mean, it's pretty. It's plentiful. But it's just a little lighter than I think I usually like it. Nice smell. It was highly recommended, so I But there are a lot of popular smells out there that I don't like Taylor of Old Bond Street sandalwood and some of the barbershop scents. A lot of those I don't care for. So I have to watch out for recommendations. But I'm so glad there's a lot of information out there and reviews and stuff to give you an idea about what the scent is like. All right, so I'm gonna rinse my face to get it ready for the first layer. That is thin. I didn't do any kind of pre-shave. Sometimes that's the reason for some thinness. This kind of happened with my DR Harris yesterday as well. It just so thin. Here, I'll even cake it on and see what happens. Just not hanging on there. I mean, who knows? Maybe there's some more. Oh, you know what? Let's do a little bit of let's kind of do a combo of face lathering as well. Let's load up some more in here. And then just go right to the face with it. See if that helps. Oh yeah, that's better. So, my confidence was misplaced in that being a good amount of soap. It was not nearly enough. That little badge of courage dropped on my shirt there. Oh, now see, that's starting to have a nice creamy feel to it. There we go. Okay. Glad I did that. That's nice. That's nice. Okay, so that just kind of came to me right then. But that's a good idea if you fail at your lather. In a way that makes it too thin, then just maybe put some on your face and then start loading your brush again, and then just dump that on your face and lather up, and you can rescue it. All right. This is the version that has the lines in the handle. And I find that does offer enough grip, even when wet. I was very happy with this blade. When it was in my two other razors. I don't know when it's going to expire. This is one of those ubiquitous razors that so many people have enjoy. Got a little bleeder on my right side right there. I cut that 2 days ago, so that's interesting. Several months ago, I started shaving using a more perpendicular method and bringing it down until I felt it cut. Well, this is one of the few razors that offered a very smooth shave in that. a nice, good, close, enjoyable shave with that. And then but if I put a sharp blade in there, then it would cut me on a regular basis. But nonetheless, it was enjoyable, and I didn't expect it to, but it became one of my favorite razors using that technique. Then I switched to where I start more parallel with my skin surface, and then I move it out until I feel it start to engage the hairs. And because this one has such a sharp profile right there, that's not the blade, obviously, that's a safety bar. It almost feels like it's not as comfortable, it's not as smooth, because most of the other razors I have, this is more curved. So let's see. Yeah, we'll go ahead and finish up here. This was tiny strokes, kind of like Elaine's tiny kicks. All right. Go ahead and take care of that guy with the alum block now. If he needs it. Looks like he's going to stop. All right. Okay, well, that first pass did not. You can tell how mild the razor was, because that first pass did not gather much moss. So we will rinse and do another pass. And you know what, it occurred to me that maybe this razor is just one of those that is meant to have an more open angle. Maybe I'll try that on my next pass. It's interesting how this side of my face has a lot less was cut than this one. It must have been my angle management. My skills need to improve there. All right, so I'm gonna take some of this thin lather, put it on. I was sending a message about shaving earlier today, and it was somebody had mentioned that, you know, sometimes a good soap or a good lather, could be more important to a nice, close, comfortable shave than the right razor or blade. Makes sense, but I don't know what they might be referring to in the sense of good lather. So I'm looking forward to seeing if they reply back with some helpful info. Like, for instance, gonna load up, does it need to be yogurty? You know, really thick? Does it need to be really thick to give you that closest shave? Does it need to be thin so it lets you get closer to the hairs? Does it need to be, what about it is most conducive? Now, maybe the whole answer is it's a balance, or it depends on your skin type, and I'm perfectly willing to accept that, because that's the answer to a lot of wet shaving questions, isn't it? I'm going to add a few drops of water to my brush, and then let's just watch a better lather happen. I think I figured that out on one of my early shaves with this Boar brush. While it's getting broken in, to expect just to do more face lathering until you get the hang of it, until it kind of starts to open up and get broken in. Look at that. There we go. Nice and thick. I can still, it hasn't dissipated very much. Certain notes of it have, but it's still very present, which is nice. I like it. Okay, second pass. Maybe I'll do a little higher angle. But the reason I quit with the higher angle was that I was getting cut on a regular basis. And once I switched to the more closed angle, my cuts just dramatically decreased. With decent sharp blades, I was getting cut maybe twice per shave. Once I switch with the open handle angle, once I switched to the closed handle angle, I was getting cut maybe just one time out of every 5 shaves. So it was dramatic. Yeah, I think I like it better when I open up the angle a little bit more for this one. All right, slickness report. I don't feel like I can go back on those areas right now unless I was just on it, because that's still got some moisture, but once that evaporates, it's not slick at all. Now, I could probably put a little bit of water on my face, not rinsing everything off, and have the slickness come back. All right, do a little of that rinse I was talking about. Did a little inspection, and I feel like my cheeks are in good shape after that run, and I didn't really focus on getting the right angle to get my problem areas right here. This other side, which is more of a normal grain, it's probably done, so that's good. This is still a sharp blade, and it's a sharp blade in this razor. Happy with that. And so I will now just do, why don't we just do I forget about it. Let's do the whole neck. Still got some of that soap on there from the previous load. Looks like it's thick enough. You won't have to grind as much on your second and third passes anyway. Nice. So now I'm gonna some of the time on that second pass I did do cross grain in certain ways, that especially this way, because that's cross grain for me right there. It gets all wacky over here, and so I'm gonna have to do some focused. Let's see, this is my trouble spot here. So I'm gonna pull my skin and then doing cross grain, but it's coming from the other side. See if this guy leaves any. Let's see. This is probably the better angle for this section right here. it's not a bleeder. This section is so good over here. I'm not gonna do that opposite side cross grain run. I'm just gonna kind of do a normal cross grain run. Okay, so then here. Oh, there is a little tiny bit of blood coming from a hole down there. Okay, really happy with the smoothness once I open the angle. So obviously with that razor, I'm gonna have to have a more open handle angle. It got my trouble area. Okay, it got my atoms apple really well. My little trouble spot right there. It didn't do as good of a job, but it's still reasonable. The other two razors that I used it in were much better. They even got it like after the second pass, or maybe something like that. So you know what? Let's just try one more, because this is, after all, a more easygoing. Put some water on it. This is a more easygoing razor, so maybe it's not going to cause irritation. If I hit it again. Okay. Careful stretching. Now this time what am I gonna do? Yeah, I'll come from the bottom again. Just lightly. It's not baby butt smooth because, you know, if I go against the grain, then I feel it. I don't think my skin's ever going to let me go baby butt smooth. I think DFS is about the best I can hope to achieve. Yeah, I don't think that run changed anything. Okay, you know what? Just for grins, why don't we try an against the grain pass with this blade? Just see what happens. Sometimes I'll try it. Let that be it. Little trouble area, and that wasn't very irritating at all. All right, I'm going to rinse, check things out here. Okay, I just checked that little section out, and it is baby butt. So apparently with my skin, if I'm going to get anywhere close to baby butt smooth, it's going to be within against the grain pass. That pass was not very irritating. I'm going to have to think about it, because making multiple cross grain passes, maybe it might be worth it just to do an against the grain pass and get it all in one shot. I don't know, but we'll see how that makes my skin feel tonight or tomorrow. And so I'm very happy with the smell of this 63, and just kind of I like it because it's got some character to it. I like Midnight Stag from Chiseled Face and Sherlock, and you know, I like the real sandalwood fragrances like Perazzo Red and Lavender and Wood, Lather and Wood, Sandalwood. Those are the best sandalwoods that I've really enjoyed. You know, I like it with character, and this one has that. It's not like they went and took a cologne and just put it into a soap, and that's great. You know, I've got a Sterling Green Irish Tweed clone. I think it's Sharp Dressed Man that I enjoy, but it doesn't have as much character because it's really just they're trying to do a cologne, you know. And so this is in a different genre than like the Midnight Stag kind of stuff, but it's got enough complexity to where I'm really enjoying it. It takes me to a kind of a European place in my head. So really like that, and it protected me during that against the grain pass that I did, along with the Gillette Silver Blue blade. The Boar brush did pretty well. I did have to face lather basically, but that was probably not the brush's fault. It was probably me not spending enough time at the puck in the beginning. I'll have to try that again. So Prix de Provence 63 and Semogue 830 Boar brush were the tools today, and I am going to hit myself with some witch hazel. I've been enjoying that lately. I don't think it's quite as nourishing for my skin as the balm. My skin just feels super soft if I use Nivea Aftershave balm, but the witch hazel does a good job as well. It's just not quite as luxurious, but hey, maybe it's healthier for my skin instead of always putting on the balm. But my skin does feel good the next day with that witch hazel as well. It's got aloe in it too. So I put it in a spray bottle like this one and just hose myself down a little bit. Good to go. I'm also just I'm trying spritzing my blades with just 1 or 2 sprays of 70% alcohol, wondering if that will in any way give me a couple extra shaves with them. I'm just curious. We'll see how that goes. This was the 3rd shave on that Gillette Silver Blue blade. Thanks for watching. Hope it helped. Take care.